start at last. So 5 minutes later, but sorry, but the technical problems.
There's no problem. It's maybe because in the online training there are some technical problems, unfortunately. But fix it. It's very good news. Thank you.
So thanks to Igor. So he is working now. So Polina is our host, and she will start.
Okay.
Okay, hello to everyone. I'm glad to see you. I want to say that our students remember your visit to our university and your great lecture. And new students join us today, and I would like to introduce you to them. Today we have gathered to get to know Ramazan Erol better, a man who currently works at the Department of Mathematics Education at Young Kocatepe University. As we know, you do research in curriculum theory, mathematics education, and educational assessment. And so our students would like to ask you a few questions to get to know more information about you. And if you don't mind, we can start.
As you introduced me, I'm a mathematics educator in Turkey, and I'm doing also PhD mathematics education in Hacettepe University in Ankara. At last, I want to finish this summer after my ceremony, 19th June. It's a very busy time now. Then there are we live in a lockdown, as you know, all over the world, and we can do something as we can do. If you want, we shall start. We can start and some presentation about the research methodology in education, and you suitable your area, learning foreign language or the other educational area. If you have a question, please mail to me, because I have another lecture at 12:30, then 1 hour later. If you want to, we can start. I used. Okay.
So rather technical.
Я вылетела, да? Или нет?
So fundamentals of scientific research.
Yes. But
Okay.
sorry.
The fundamentals have disappeared. No fundamental.
Sorry.
Ramazan, while you are working at your presentation, so you are going to have two very important events this year, your wedding ceremony and PhD. Which one is more important for you, or they are equal for you?
Both of us, but my wedding ceremony is very more important than my PhD, because it's it's effectiveness my PhD life all over my academic life. If I live very happy in my
Family life.
Family life, I'm very I will succeed in my academic life, as you know.
So they are interdependent, I see.
Yes. Okay, I want to share my presentation. Okay. Okay.
Now we're here.
Can you see the presentation?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Research method in education.
Okay.
The second slide will be more interesting, because that man is so funny, it seems to me.
Yes. Now, can you see the presentation?
We can.
Okay.
Yes.
Today, I presentation about the research methods in education, fundamentals of scientific research, and the basic fundamentals of scientific research. Let me start in the content in the presentation. Ways to know scientific method, stage of the scientific method, classification of studies, quantitative studies, qualitative studies, research process, research departments. My presentations process is, as you can see, and one is the most important question as we ask ourselves: how can teachers, educators, and parents or students get the information they need? Yes. Anyone else to answer this question?
So using books, using scientific papers and internet.
Internet. Okay. Another.
So making the scientific experiments.
Yes. Good.
Just try, so searching for the information through the practice.
Yes. Good. If you want to, I answer this question. Some kind of some kind of answer we can answer this question. It's very most important as we are educator, a teacher, or maybe will be in the future we will be a parent. We must ask this question. You can consult the experts. As you can see, can review book and article, as you said to Vera, can ask, observe experienced colleagues, can look at the past experience based on initiations. So they, and I ask some very important question. So are they reliable? No, because the most reliable way is scientific method. What is the scientific method we use in the education process? What is the scientific method? Can you give me an example?
So, так, хтось буде свій приклад наводити? So, I can, wait.
Yeah.
You
I can show this picture, weighing to know. We know somebody, something about our lives. We sensing because when you eat something or drink something, you can see it's hot or cold. It's sensing. Sharing information with others, as I said, our colleagues, our friends, maybe our parents, being told something by experts. When you go to the dentist, he or she present your disease about your disease. Logical reasoning. If the cat is in the basket, as you can see, the basket is in the box. The cat therefore has to be in the box. It's a logical reasoning, but it's a reliable method. As I said, science. What is the science? I have concluded that Mr. Johnson has a lemon disease, as you can see. Based on what basis? Based on what is X-rays and his blood sample reveal, both of which can corroborate by anyone. The science is the most reliable thing, weighing to know, weighing the sum about general or social problem with solution with the science. And the scientific method. First, we factual process description, identifying, classifying, and recording cases and their relationships. Then observation, measuring or measurement. It's very important in the factual process and description is most important in measuring and the measurement, or experiment, past experiments or background knowledge. Theoretical process, making the thing determined in the factual process understandable. Hypothesis, theory, law or foresight. It's very reliable as a law, theory, and the hypothesis. You can make an hypothesis about your research, and you based on the theory or law. Then, stages of the scientific method. Recognizing the problem. What is the problem? I ask you, if you can answer, I'm waiting, please. Recognizing the problem. What is the problem? Yes, what is the problem? I can't hear. I can't hear.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So this presentation will be of great importance and use for our students who prepare their master degree thesis or bachelor degree thesis. So maybe they will use it. They write about the problems connected with teaching English or with the English language, the philological problems.
Okay. It's a basic scientific research. I will give us some example about your student degree and logical reasoning. What is the problem?
So you would like us to give you the example of the problem?
Yes, yes.
So, for example, using mass media at the English lessons, is it important and is it useful? This is the problem. Is it useful to involve mass media materials to the English lessons?
Yes. It's very good. Defining the problem. Then we're defining the problem. There's a problem, social or general, or learning foreign language, for example. There's a problem. You're recognizing the problem, and this is the problem. This problem is you can defining this problem and estimating some solution. Then research method development, other data collection and analysis, decision making and interpretation. I want to give some example and make a brainstorm your students and your colleagues if you want.
We shall try.
Okay. What is a research problem? I gave some, and I want to define the research problem. It's very basic defining. A research problem is exactly that, a problem that someone would like to research. A research problem is exactly that, a problem that someone would like to research. A problem can be anything that a person finds unsatisfactory or unsettling, a difficulty of some sort, a state affairs that needs to be changed, anything that's not working as well as it might. Then, research question. What is the research question? I can ask your colleagues or students, and you can logical reasoning. There's a problem, and you're defining this a problem. Research question as a research question. What is the research question? I can explain this research question. Usually research problem, I can, I said define the research problem. Research problem is exactly that, a problem that someone would like to research. It's very important. Then for researchers and students alike, research problems are identified from several sources, including 1, the research literature, 2, problems in practice or work related context, and 3, personal biography or history. Research question, usually as a research problem, is initially post a question, which serve as the focus of the researcher's investigation. The research question is defining that way, I think. In our view, educator and academic view, the research question should dictate the research type. and the paradigm. What is the paradigm, research paradigm? As you know, qualitative research or quantitative research. In our view, you explain or defining the research question. Research question should dictate the research type and the paradigm. I said qualitative research, and I explained the next presentation and the quantitative research. What is the qualitative or quantitative research? And some example about research question. I want to give what goes on in after-school program during an average week. There is a research question. It's a research question. Or does client-centered therapy produce more satisfaction in clients than traditional therapy? Or do English teachers behave differently towards students different genders? There's a research question. Do English teachers behave differently towards students of different genders? And there is it's the example of the research question, and I explained this question. Do English teachers behave differently towards students different genders? There is a research type and the paradigm. What is the research type? It's a single subject, causal comparative research and the quantitative or mixed method.
So it seems to me it's qualitative because you are to answer, but it will include also quantity because you can count the male students and female students, and you can make the conclusion, and it will be the quality. So
yes.
It is the same or it differs greatly between teachers' attitude to boys and girls.
Girls, yes. There's a quantitative research and a causal comparative research. That's right. And I want to give some example, and I want to answer this question. Should philosophy be included in the high school curriculum? There's a
research question.
Yeah, research question, yes. Or what is the meaning of the life? Is there a problem or research question?
The meaning of the life is living it, enjoying it.
Not again, maybe. It differs man to man or humankind to humankind. There are two other kinds of question I gave. Should philosophy be included in the high school curriculum, or what is the meaning of the life? It's a general question or the general problem that cannot be answered by collecting and analyzing data. We can't answering these questions, and these are not research question, and we can't answer the scientific method. I'm emphasize the problem on the problem because the research problem is very important. You can answer all of your article or the thesis or your problem because if you defining your problem very well, you can do the you can good introduction, theoretical perspective, or you can do your methods, defining your methods and collecting data very easily, and your it's the heart of the scientific research. The problem is the problem, I think. I want to give some example about the research question, research problem. Research question is very related about each other. The question is feasible. What is feasible? It can be investigated. without expending an undue amount time, energy or money. You have a problem and you spend a lot of energy or money, and it's not feasible. The question is clear. What is clear? The most people would agree as to what key words in question mean. You have a problem, you write your question, and another person read this question, and it's very clear and meaningful. The question is significant. What is significant? It's worth investigating because it will contribute important knowledge about the human condition. The question is ethical. It's most important, especially during these days. The question is ethical. What is ethical? Ethical, it will not involve physical or psychological harm or damage to human beings or the natural or social environment of which they are parts. Ethical is the most important. Thanks. Okay, I have some example, and I want to ask your students, yes or no. It's very simple. Researchable, not researchable. Okay, I want to ask question. Should I put my youngest in preschool? Is a researchable or not researchable question? Should I put my youngest in preschool?
It seems to me not researchable, though.
Not researchable.
Not researchable.
Not researchable.
Yes. Okay. At which age is the more helpful to introduce phonics to children? Age 5, age 6, or age 7?
So it can be researched. It seems.
Researchable question. Very good. Okay. Who commits more crimes? Poor people or rich people?
So it seems to me it can be researched. You can count the social status and
Yes.
financial status of the criminals. There is one. It can be researched.
Yes, it's good. Are some people born bad? Researchable or not researchable?
Are some people born
Bad.
bad?
Bad. Good, bad.
Bad.
No, not bad.
It's a philosophical question.
It's not researchable.
Researchable?
Not researchable.
No,
Not
not
researchable, yes.
It's very subjective.
Yes, subjective, yes.
Good
It's
and
very
bad,
good.
so very subjective.
Yes. Okay. We can go.
I hope so.
There's some, okay. We, based on emphasized some scientific methods, as you recognize. The problem is very important. Defining the problem. What is the problem? There's a problem. It's feasible or suitable or clear to investigate our problem. Research method development, data collections and analysis, decision making and interpretation. Okay, what do we search? In general, social policies, programs, management process. In particular, human and social behavior. Understanding and explaining. We, as you know, we do some research area. For example, our mathematical. I want to give some mathematical example. This is about my thesis. What is the concept image? Concept image is a whole picture of the human being in your mind. Understanding and explaining what is the student's meaning of the derivatives or slope or the what is the meaning? Understanding and explaining derivatives, slopes, and the rate of change. And you can suitable your area. what is the concept, what is the anxiety about the foreign language, about the sixth grade teacher, sixth grade students. There's an anxiety, you know. There is some social social economics behavior or the backgrounds. You can understanding and explaining their anxiety or the success the foreign languages. In particular, we do research. We research human and social behavior. Analysis unit, as you can see, people, children, adolescents, and adults, especially we research area and our sample are the universe children. What grades is the middle school children, fifth to eighth grade children, adolescents, adults, especially I write my thesis about adults because the lecturer and the university students, mathematics department, in the mathematics department, institution, family, public, private, institutions, NGO, and municipality, location, region, street, neighborhood, especially, but as some in the sum we understanding and explaining human and social behavior. You can classification of the research. Some selecting, as you can see, the level, philosophy, level, purpose, interference, measuring condition, and that data status. I want to give some example about this classification of the research. I think you know about your research problem. As I said, the research problem is very important. Research problem is the clear, feasible, or the ethical. You can measuring condition very easily, or your research questions, philosophy is a positivist or quantitative, anti-positivist, qualitative, or pragmatist mixed methods. You can use this. As I said, your problem is very important. Then level descriptive, relational, or interventional procedures. Purpose, basic, applied, experimental development, you can see. Interference, experimental, single subject or multi-sample. Non-experimental, you can see, you can use your method in your research. You can see the quantitative research. We have some level, survey, correlation, causal comparative research, experimental research, single subject research, and meta-analysis. In Turkey especially, now meta-analysis is very popular because it's very easy. Analyzing of the analysis, it's very easy, especially in our mathematicians. It's very popular. You can there are some there are a lot of research about the quantitative research, and you can there is some analyzing, and you will make analyzing of the analysis. It's very easy. Experimental research, it's very hard to use educational research because the human or students behavior is changing. We are not our children, our students aren't experimental animal because it's very hard. But I can I want to some give example. Group A, face-to-face training. Group B, online training. There is the experimental research example. I defining this and give example about English teacher level after the presentation. Okay. Qualitative research, as you can see, ethnographic, historical, action, phenomenology. Especially in Turkey, we use action research. Action researchers focus more on obtaining information that will enable them to change the condition about a particular situation in which they are involved rather than making solid generalization. We use phenomenology. I have some manuscripts about or article about the phenomenology. What is the mathematic? I ask my students, and if the mathematic is a food, what is what is the mathematic? If I ask my children, you can ask your children, or you can ask your friend, what is the English language? If the English language is food. Yes.
If it is food. So English is the means of communication, but is for compare it to food, maybe it is bread.
Bread.
Most important.
Most important.
Most important food for a person.
Okay, it's your phenomenon, Vera. If the English as a drink, what is English drink?
Tea, because it is associated with tea.
Tea. And as you know, I ask my students level 1 to 4, what is the mathematic if the food? Mathematic, it's very complicated food. It's hard. What is? It's made pizza. They said to me.
Why not Turkish food, but the Italian food? Why?
Italian, Turkish food, but the pizza, you know, complex material is in the everything is in the pizza. Mathematics is very complex, but it's very delicious. They said to me. It's yeah. Case study.
And pizza uses mathematical figures.
Yes.
The circles, the triangles. If we
Everything. And in your materials is that there is a mathematical what concept you can explain or defining the concept materials in the pizza. As I said, I want to say about the case studies. Case studies is very important about qualitative research. I used this method in my thesis. Case studies are defined as a research in which a set is defined and customized depending on space and time. I will give some example about case studies, action research, phenomenology after the presentation, and an introduction about ourselves. Then, as some, I want to summarize this presentation. Research process, literature review, it's very important. What the other people or researcher did do about our problem. It's very important. You can explain or defining the literature. You will go very easily in your research.
Mm-hmm. So it will prevent you from reinventing the bicycle, because you may use the same information. It was already.
Yes, it's very important literature review because it prevents your research, as you said, Vera. Then, first, identifying the problem. It's very important. I will give some example about the what is the research problem is or not a research problem. Identifying questions, research questions, or hypotheses. It's the first step of research process. Then create a research design. if you identifying the problem and identifying the question clearly, you can easily create research design, because the question of the research question dictate your phenomenology or paradigm about your research. It's a quantitative, qualitative, or mixed method. You can easily create your research design. Then you create the research design, and then what? Selecting the sample. You have a design and the sample. Teachers, students, or colleagues, or retired personnel. It's you can selecting the sample, then identifying the tool. Selecting sample and identifying the tool. Then determining the analysis method. It's very important step 3.4. Determining the analysis method. It's very important. After you identifying the problem, identifying the question, create research design, identifying the tool, determining the analysis method, and data collection. You identifying the tool. These tools prevent your data and the collection. After analyze data, we have a lot of data. What will we do? Analyzing data, it's very large area, and if you want to this analyzing data, quantitative or qualitative research, if you want another presentation, I will give some example about if you want. Then reporting. As a sum, identifying the problem, it's very important, as I said, determining the method, implementation and analysis, and the reporting. Research department, as I said, in Turkey, especially we use when we write a manuscript or and upload it to our manuscripts, the journal, educational journal, we have some departments: section 1, section 2, section 3, and section 4. Especially in Turkey, we have our PhD students and the master degree students. When they write their thesis or dissertation, section 1, section 2, section 3, and section 4, we have general. You can maybe introduction and the methods between the section 1 and the section 2, theoretical perspective. You can go. Your section will be 4 to 5. It's up to you. Section 1, as you can see, determining the research topic, identifying the problems and the sub-problems. I mentioned about the introduction, section 1, determining the purpose and the importance of the research. You have a problem and somebody asks you, why will you research this problem? You're determining the purpose and the importance of the research, as you can see. It's very important introduction, because it's the heart of your research. Purpose and the importance of the research, and reveal some problems, reveal some something else. Defining and the definitions and abbreviation. Defining definitions, it's very important, as I said in this introduction. Methods, as you can see, determining research, type of research, because it's about your identifying a research problem and the research type. It's very what can I say? Determine a research problem is relevant about the research problems, relevant with the research type. Data collection and analyzing of data. And as you can see, go findings, conclusion, and discussion. My presentation is over there. If you want to, I can share the basic reference, Franken and Wallen, as you can see. If you want, I can share the PDF format.
So our meeting is recorded, and that is why they will have the opportunity. Now I may comment it on briefly.
Okay.
While listening to you, I have conducted a research. My research question was, are the methods and the other terms mentioned here in your presentation the same for Turkey and Ukraine? And my conclusion is, we use almost the same things, but we very rarely use meta-analysis and case studies. So case studies are not so popular in Ukraine. Ukrainian researches for our students and for our teachers, and meta-analysis is also not so popular. As for the other points of your presentation, so less or more, so we use the same things because the scientific research has researches have much in common everywhere, all over the world. So it's my conclusion.
Okay, thank you. As I said, meta-analysis is very popular during days because there's some analyzing. It's over the table, and you collect them and analyzing this. It's very easy.
I see, but it is not so popular. So thank you so much. Maybe our students will ask you more questions about mathematics, as you are a teacher of math, and your studies, maybe your students. So are you ready to answer them?
We have some
maybe several minutes, several questions.
Okay. Okay.
Briefly answer
about mathematics or research area. What can
about mathematics and your attitude to mathematics?
I love mathematics. My wife also is mathematician.
Is also mathematician. Great.
Yes.
So mathematician family. So
yeah.
Ну давайте питання якісь до нього.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Каріна.
In which period of life did you realize that mathematics is your sphere, your enjoyable maybe
when did you
science?
realize that mathematics is your cup of tea? You're interested in it.
Yes.
When did you realize that mathematics is good for you?
When I realized it's about before the middle school, about grade 2. Yes.
10 years old, maybe.
No, not 10 years. 8 years. 8 years.
8 years.
Grade. Yes, 8 years. Because I'm a very clever boy, and I'm and the success about the mathematics, and I learned Turkish writing and reading first in my class.
Mm-hmm.
And mathematics is also very I'm very good at. I have a hypothesis. If you're good at the literature, you have to you will be success mathematics, because it's the same. It's mathematics is a language, as you know. We have some symbols or some alphabetics phenomena, and the literature is the
literacy, not
language.
Literacy.
So literacy, yes. Literacy. Sorry, literacy. If you will be good at literacy, you can success mathematics. My hypothesis, because I prefer my nephew and the niece or the little children, age of children. I prefer the parents. You have to reading books, a lot of reading books. It's they are good at the literacy. They will be good at mathematics. The same, because two of the things it's language. Galileo said mathematics is the language of the nature.
Maybe. Let's believe him. So the other question, ще якісь питання? Поліна. Настя, you're welcome.
May I?
You are welcome.
The number of tasks and competencies of modern teacher is broader and more global than before. So how do you think, what is the role of modern teacher?
The role of modern teacher. Difficult question. No, just philosophical.
Because maybe today the teacher is more like consultant for students.
It's important to consultant and guiding the students, very important about their recognizing their some students good at math, some students good at philosophy. The teacher's role is very important, consulting the students. It's very important, and everybody, every students have to success in the mathematics. Some students good at the literacy or music or the art. The role of the role of the teacher is very important. The guiding the students some successful area. Maybe teachers very but we can't do this, especially in Turkey, because we want to success every area, the students, and we have a racehorse. We look to our students racehorse, and they maybe in the racing. It's I think it's not properly our lives. We grow up these things. You must good at maths, music, and physics. But it's very hard to especially psychological harm we have.
So do you think that marks are not so important?
What?
Do you think that marks are not important?
Yes. Marks not important, but consulting and the guiding is very important, I think.
So
Okay, thank you.
Is much more important than the marks.
Marks not purpose, maybe instrument.
An instrument.
Yes.
I agree with you. It's a tool, really.
Yeah. Marks good at some students have 95 marks in mathematics. It's instrument, I think. It's not purpose. Especially in the online training, there is not reliable the marks because
Google knows everything.
Yes, you will enjoy. You will joining the examination, and your mobile phone as the other there, and you can solve the answer. It's not reliable.
Especially if the students are not honest.
Yes, especially everywhere, all over the world, there is students not honest. I'm the student. I have the yes. I'm the PhD student. My examination about the 2 months ago. I can't remember the answer, and
I consulted.
yes, I have permission about my consulting counselor, and she gives okay because the online it's not honest. I want to be face to face, and because education, you as you know, maybe you are going to be a teacher. Education, especially in education, not other area, face-to-face learning is very important because when you're touching your students or eye contact, it's very realistic. In the online teaching, it's maybe good, but not effective the face-to-face learning. Okay.
Last year, the American scientists, last year, after the beginning of the online learning mess, so they conducted the researches and they made two conclusions about American students, university students. So their rates, their quality of knowledge failed, so critically, and the dropout, the students who were excluded from education, so it raised considerably. So it means that online education is just something, not nothing, but it is not as good as face-to-face.
Face-to-face, yes, yes, I agree with you, Vera. Thank you very much. It's very good on behalf of myself. It's very good presentation. If you want to, I can share my presentation about this mail too. And if you have some question, you mail to me. Because 12:30 I have another lecture. If you want, you can mail to me.
Sorry, I have a question for you. May I ask you? Do you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, my question is, do you miss Ukraine or not? And when will you plan to visit Ukraine again? Thank you.
It's a personal question. I missed Ukraine, especially your friendship, Zan, and especially Vera, and where is she? And Vera and the colleagues, and Tatiana and Anya, as you know. I missed you and introduce interaction with you, and maybe after the quarantine or after the COVID-19,
after returning to the usual life.
Yes, normal life, re-normal life. I want to visit the Ukraine with my wife because I'm very missed abroad.
Mm-hmm.
I want to share my email, and if you want.
So you may.
Come on. Okay.
So here it is. We can see it.
Okay. You can write my email. And if you have any question, you can mail to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. R-E-R O-L. Yes. My surname. First, my...
I have written it. Then at
A-K-U
Afyon KGTP University.
Yes, yes. A-K-U dot edu dot tr.
Dot еще?
Official, yes.
Dot edu, edu.
Dot tr.
Dot еще dot. Dot after edu, after you. So I have sent it. So can you check it?
Okay. I will send you the WhatsApp.
Is it correct? So can you see in the chat? here
Okay. Chat. Sorry.
in the chat.
There's a chat. I used. Yes, it's true.
It's true?
Yeah.
Mhm. So I was attentive to your letters.
I used firstly the Google meeting. We use usually Zoom meeting, as you know. The all over the grades, middle school, university level, or the master degree, we use the Zoom meeting. I used first the Google meeting. It's very useful.
So it's useful really. So it's because of me, because my computer doesn't allow working on Zoom. But it works well with it works well with Google Meet. That is why we're here in Google Meet.
But Google Meet is very good and useful, I think, as I can see. It's
It
very
will
good.
complete your opportunities to work with the students online.
Okay.
Mhm.
I want to leave because my other lecture is starting now. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
I'm proud of the meeting with you. If
Thank you
any-
so much. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Так, завтра буде цікавіше для тих, хто ще залишився, бо завтра буде зустріч зі студентами. Сьогодні було